2XKO writes new 2v2, 1v2, 2v1, 1v1 tag team fighting game based off the League of Legends universe coming in 2025. Hi, howdy, hello, my name is Alejandro. I'm an actor, I'm a content creator, and today I'm going to give you my top level impressions from the 2XKO Alpha Lab. I was very lucky, very fortunate to get in because apparently these codes are really sparse, and I think the people who went to in-person FGC events like EVO got first priority to sign up there in person. So right now, the kind of pool of players who are in this Alpha Lab are people like me who are just very casual, signed up at home, and then the people who went to these FGC events potentially competed at these FGC events. So the skill ceiling and the skill gap is kind of crazy right now. And I don't know if there's, I've heard rumblings that there is some potential skill-based matchmaking, but this is going to be the top level impressions. For me, you know, I like this game. I'm very new to fighting games. Street Fighter 6 is kind of the only fighting game I've really played fully, I guess. I dabbled with Mortal Kombat versus DC Universe when I was a kid. I was a pretty decent Sub-Zero, I think. But nobody likes that game, so we're not going to talk about the game. I played a little bit of Marvel 2 when I was a child with my friend at his house on his Dreamcast. I was also bad at that game, but now I'm Platinum 2 in Street Fighter 6. Yeah, I know, guys. Chill out. Platinum 2. You gonna go compete? You gonna be on the main stage next year? I don't know. But right now, I am getting whooped in 2XKO. It is pretty hard. It's very hard, but it's not impossible. And I don't know if I want the difficulty of this skill ceiling to change. I think it's a good spot in where it's at. I think the kind of core match and core gameplay is what I do think needs refinement. Obviously, this is an alpha. This game's probably maybe a year out, maybe a little less than a year out. I would assume they want to get it out before EVO next year. But yeah, this is some top level critical analysis. Nothing mean, be civil, be kind. I'm playing a lot of Echo. I really dig Echo. First come, first serve. First come, first look. Vibe check. I dig Echo. I've watched the Arcane series. I didn't remember anybody's names, but I remembered Echo. And then seeing Echo in this game, I'm like, I'm going to play that guy. Obviously, I'm going to play that guy. And I will say, compared to the other characters on this Alpha Lab roster, it feels like he has had the most love, which is good. I've seen some interviews with devs, and they're very passionate about the characters that they're making in this game. But it is a little obvious. I'm not gonna lie. It's obvious that he has a lot of stuff he can do, a lot of setups, a lot of infinites, it seems. Also, apparently, Ari's pretty broken right now. But I think coming into this as literally fresh, because nobody else has played this game besides in-person demos, I would say it's easy to pick up if you're new to fighting games. But if you're coming from like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat or like Guilty Gear or something, it's gonna be a little difficult. I think the control scheme is it's kind of giving me a mental block of like, what is doing what here? And I think a lot of it comes from like the impact and the animation of like the heavy attack. Like I kind of forget that the heavy attack exists sometimes, which is like so like novice to say. But when I'm playing on a DualSense on a pad, I'm not really feeling the impact of what it's like to connect that hit to the other player. But I have been playing a little bit on this. I did build a Leverless, so if you want to know how to do this, link in the description. But I've been playing on this just because obviously the tactileness of it is a little bit better for me in terms of like kind of knowing where the impact is. But also in terms of like the control scheme, I don't know, man. I think down special is kind of messing me up. I think the parry being two inputs put together instead of potentially just like the bottom left trigger, like the L2 button, because that one is for some reason like special one. I wish they would kind of change things around a little bit. I think obviously they will. At launch, I would hope that they let you map it in a certain way that doesn't mess everything else up. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I think based off of the look of it, I think it's immaculate. I think it's one of the prettiest games I've seen. In one of the most like visually inspired games I've seen. It has a very similar art style to like Hi-Fi Rush in terms of like the character modeling, having like the kind of cell shaded outlines a little bit. It's obviously it's not animated on twos like Hi-Fi Rush or like Spider-Verse or something like that, but it does feel fluid. It does feel nice to play, and it looks really crisp. I think that's the best way to put it. I think coming from like looking at the game when it was revealed to now, it's like night and day. I think at the beginning it looked a little, I would say, a little rubbery, maybe a little plasticky in terms of like it kind of had, it looked like a little bit of a mobile game maybe, but now I think it looks very crisp. I think it runs pretty decent. I think there's been some frame drops, obviously, like this is still an alpha lab, but and the connection issues, but it's good. I really, really dig it. I think the UI is like, it's such a weird thing to be like such a lover of the menu, but I think the menu rips. I think it's so cool. It's just like so modern, but like fresh, and like it's so, it evokes like this awesome style of the game. And the stages, the hand painted, like the matte painting stages look just perfect. They look incredible. So I think on a visual perspective, which is like a majority of a fighting game, of a reason you want to play a fighting game, like why do you want to main Echo? Well, he looks cool. Why do you want to play on this stage? Well, it looks cool. I think that is great. I think the music too is really doing it for me. I think the lobby little like arcade situation they have, which is kind of the new thing to have with like Tekken and Street Fighter 6, I think that's working for me as well. I like the little chibi looking avatars that they're making. But yeah, I have some gameplay up right now, and I'm getting smoked. I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting smoked by a duo, and it's just kind of, I think the matches go on a little too long, maybe, or just the pacing of how long these combos are. But obviously, like that will change. I think the skill gap happening right now of people learning the controls as well as learning routes and combos to do, that's going to change the pacing of the match. I just think that it feels like there's some dead air in this in these matchups, but we'll see what happens going forward. We'll see how they address it. I wonder if they're going to make it faster by any chance. I don't know. We'll see. Again, this game's probably not coming out till next summer, so maybe next summer, if not next fall. But overall, my impressions, I'm really, really enjoying it. I want to keep playing more. I think if you're somebody who is new to fighting games, I think you're going to find this to be a good place to start. Don't get discouraged. Obviously, like the actual player base is not here yet. This is just kind of the hardcore people who really, really, really wanted to get their hands on it so much that they went in person, and that's awesome. So I think going forward, when the game does come out, and it is free to play, so that's great. So you know the investment there is minimal, depending on if you're going to buy like a battle pass or something. It's going to be nice. It's going to have a whole influx of people who also don't know how to play, but they also probably like League, or they just watch like Arcane or something, and they want to, see how Ari plays or how Darius plays. And I think that's going to be a time where we're really going to find our footing with this. But overall, I'm loving it. I really think it's good. I think it has a very promising future, depending on like this starting roster. I hope it launches with a decent, like a bigger roster. I know we're going to get Jinx in there. And I don't know if they confirmed how many people are going to be there day one. But I think if the game doesn't have a lot of content, if that makes sense, like a big enough roster to kind of swap through that still makes it feel fresh. We're kind of seeing that with Street Fighter 6, how like the first year was kind of really lacking in terms of like content and updates and stuff like that. And it seems like they're going to be very attentive here for 2XKO. So that is my top level thoughts. If you have your thoughts and you want to share them, please comment down below. But for now, that is going to wrap this video up. I appreciate you guys for watching. Watch a movie, play a game, be kind. Thanks.